roads, riverboats, hotels, um, real estate, just buying plots of land and then paying to have them developed, um, and then renting out the spaces. So a lot of what we think of now as the riverfront area, which was very industrialized during this period. Um, Robert owned properties up and down that corridor, right in the heart of the city, and he would rent to folks who wanted to have small scale businesses, and would in some cases broker with them to sell them the goods that they needed in order to run their own businesses. So he was a sort of middleman in a variety of businesses during this period, and amassed a very large fortune, which he then proceeded to reinvest in the period just before. He was invested in providing opportunities for recent immigrants, especially from his home country, and even in the household when they were choosing servants, they tended to gravitate to Irish help. And I don't know if that was because of their social networks, sort of naturally creating those points of connection, or if they were actively seeking those things out. But they seem to have been invested in providing employment where they could for people whose stories resembled their own. And Virginia was less a part of those decisions than Robert, and then his brother Hugh, who became a business partner in the middle of the 19th century, and who was his elder by a few years, and had lived in Virginia and other places before he and his wife moved to St. Louis, but who had no children, and really Hugh and Robert together really, I think, were interested in providing those opportunities for Irish immigrants in particular. But I think that their dry goods business employed and had a wide reach. I mean, employed many people, and I suspect that I haven't done a lot of digging into those records, but the business records in the Mercantile Library would say would tell us a lot more about the particulars of those kinds of business dealings, and who in particular they were employing. Serving as a government appointee, he was a member of the Indian Commission after the Civil War, and was, for a time at least, a few years, negotiating treaties with Indian chiefs. This was during the period in which reservations were being established in the West, and until he eventually resigned from that position out of frustration with the corruption of the process and of the government agency that he was representing. He was pretty disgusted with it, in part because he had established the